good day. Before we start, allow me to introduce myself first. I am Rochelle C. Cortez and I will be presenting the topic Who was Odoric and the Pangasinan Connection. This report discusses Odoric of Pordenone, an Italian Franciscan missionary who traveled across Asia in the 14th century. And we will explore his significant journey and how we have a connection in the province of Pangasinan in the Philippines. The biography of Church have reported that Odoric Machese of Pordenone was an Italian traveler born in 1286 and he joined the Franciscan order around the year 1300 and set sail to Asia in 1318 and spent 3 years in Turkey, Iran, India, Sri Lanka, Java, Sumatra, Vietnam, and Borneo and China. Some historians, like William H. Scott, even question whether he was truly oppressed. And he came back to Italy via an overland route to Mongolia and Tibet. And he routed his travel to a friar named William of Sologna in Padua, the story of his 12 years of adventures. Interestingly, despite many might, he never mentioned conducting a Christmas mass or using a Christmas tree during his travel. The question is, what fit this story to Pangasinan? This is what historians and mythologists have debated, whether Odoric described land of Tamalasin could be referred to Pangasinan based on linguistic and geographical clue. Let's examine what the possible connections. According to mythology enthusiasts and some historians, Odoric mentioned a place called Tamalasin, and Henry Yules, a British scholar, interpreted this word as possibly Malay Tana Masin, meaning land of salt. This connect interestingly with Pangasinan, whose name also relates to salt. This connect interestingly with Pangasinan, whose name also relates to salt or salt making. Some even interpret the name poetically as with place where the sun is mid, suggesting brightness and light, fitting the symbolism of Pangasinan. He said that Odoric may have reached the Philippines, and some connect his writing with the legendary land of Tawalisi, said to be wield by Princess Orduha, a warrior princess of Pangasinan. However, scholars point out that story of Ordua and Odoric belongs to different myths and should not be confused still. This shows how local legends and foreign accounts sometimes overlap in Philippines history. Odoric's writing, he described a place where people use protective amulets and blow pips, weapon typically of Southeast Asia tribes. He also talked about trees that could produce food, wine, and even poison. And Henry Yule noted that such features were common throughout the Malay archipelago, meaning it's difficult to pinpoint one exact location such as Pangasinan. Talamasin, Talamasim, Talamasin, Talmalsi, Talamusa, Malamasin, and Malasmi have been described in a wide variety of manuscripts covering the story. In Malay or Javanese, Talamasin translates to salt lake, again connecting to Pangasinan's identity as a salt-producing region. Historians like William Henry Scott analyze this and give a geographical interpretation, which we'll see in the next slides. Henry Yule, in his book Cathay and the way Theodore analyzed Odoric travels, he believed that the description likely referred to the west coast of Borneo because it lies directly along the trade route between Java and Champa and the modern Vietnam. And he argued It would be strange for Odoric to travel such a far detour to the Philippines without passing the usual parts, and still Yul did not completely rule out the possibility that Odoric may have stepped on Philippine soil. Some account place Talamasin between Java and Champa, which geographically makes sense. However, Bolinao in Pangasinan is far north from that route, about 16 degrees north of the equator. This makes it least likely that Odoric referring to Pangasinan in his travel. According to Yule's best estimate, the land of Talamasin that Odoric described might actually be Banjarmasin in southern Borneo. The name Banjarmasin literally means salt garden. It is very similar to the meaning of Pangasinan. Yule also mentioned other nearby sites like Baru on the east coast of Borneo, which older maps labeled as Talesian or Panti. This strengthens the Southeast Asia but not necessarily Philippines. That is the context of Odoric description. One major challenge in studying pre-colonial Philippines is the lack of written history. Most records from that period don't exist, so we rely on foreign travelers' account, which often mention places we can clearly identify. Because of this gap might sometimes blend with history. People tend to fill this missing part with imagination, making it hard to distinguish facts from legend. Often, historians and researchers who question popular myth are seen as villains, but they're simply trying to find the truth based on evidence. Similarly, the debate about location of the first mass in the Philippines also known how passionate Filipinos are about this history. Many strong reasons support different locations, showing how history can have multiple interpretations depending on perspective and evidence. That's all for my report. Thank you, everyone.